welcome to Health Talk here on AETV Live. My name is Ogaga Ikama, and I'm your host. This is Health Talk, your number one health educating program where I get to interact with different health professionals. Today, I've got a registered clinical dietitian from the Asaba Specialist Hospital in the person of Esiravene in Nejedu. Hello, Ese.
Thank you
I
very
can
much.
call you Ese, right?
Yeah, you can call me Essie.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay. Before we jump right into today's topic, please, if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, do well to subscribe and turn on notifications so you always be notified whenever a new health video drops. And do well to like and drop your comments so this video can get to as many persons as possible. So today, we'll be looking at the topic weight management. And of course, it's a no-brainer. That's why I had to bring in a dietitian to do this with me. So, Essie, what is weight management?
Okay, so weight management basically is, the techniques, the process, the behaviors that a person adopts, the practices that a person adopts to attain or to achieve a normal weight. Now, when we say a normal weight is relative because a person can be 65 kg and we say this is not normal for you. A person can be 100 kg and we say this is fine for you.
Are you serious?
So basically, weight management is whatever it is you do to attain a perfect or a normal weight for you, for your status, for your health status, your nutritional status, your condition at that point. So that is weight management.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. I preempt questions. So after asking what is weight management, my next question was going to be, what is the normal body weight? But now that I said it's relative, so is it that I was deceived? Because I remember back then, they used to say the average physiological weight of a human being is within 70 to 72 kilograms, thereabout. So now I need more details to understand that I was not deceived or I was not misled.
Okay, I don't want to use the word that you were misled or you were deceived, but let's just say that the information was not complete. Let's use the word that the information was not complete because according to the books, normal weight is, when a person's BMI is between 18 and 20, 25. That is a normal weight. That is what we all know to be normal weight. But we also need to understand that there are limitations. There are things that, limit that information from being totally correct. Because a tall person is going to weigh more than a short person of the same age doing the same work, having the same nutritional status and the same health status, their weight is not going to be the same because bone mass is also part of it. A pregnant woman will not weigh the same thing as a non-pregnant woman. So are we going to say because a pregnant woman is weighing 100 kg, she does not have a normal weight? So there are limitations to that information being totally correct. That is why I said it is relative. What we call normal weight is relative. Somebody might come and I'm just like, okay, I need it to just be like 100 kg. Can we just walk towards having you at 100? Can we just walk towards having you at? Because by the time we calculate the BMI, the person's weight might just need to just be 100 to be fine.
Okay.
At least.
Okay. So now you mentioned something, BMI. What's the full meaning of BMI?
Body mass index.
Okay. So how is that calculated? Because apparently we don't use the more kilograms as to get, because if we're talking about, you said the normal weight using the BMI should be between 18 to 25.
To 25, yes.
Okay, so how do we arrive at the BMI?
Okay, if your BMI is your body mass index, and it just is, let me use the word, it is limited because it's just going to tell us the weight of everything. It's not telling us basically that, okay, this is where the fat is. It's not telling us that this is the bone. It's not telling us that, okay, this is just water that is making up for all of that. So for you to get your BMI, you just do the calculation. You know your weight, you know your height. You multiply your height. If your height is like 1.7, so it will be 1.7 times 1.7. Whatever that gives you, you do your weight over your height squared. So your answer over your height squared,
which is 1.7
7 times 1.7.
Okay.
So that is your BMI. So if you're falling between the range of 18 and 25, you're fine. But there are times that people actually fall like 32. I think I had a patient yesterday, just 32. And I'm like, okay, if I'm going to judge based on you that I am saying, I cannot say you are obese, because 30 is obesity. I think from 35 is gross obesity. 40 and above is morbid obesity and all of that. But looking at you, I cannot just say you are obese, because you don't even look obese, but because of your height. So I'll just say, because of the limitation, you are going to be more of overweight than obese.
Okay.
Yes. Do you understand now?
So was the person a tall patient?
Yes, she's tall. Okay. Like, you and I will not weigh the same thing.
Okay.
Because even though you're on the slim side, I'm also on the slim side. When we climb on the weighing scale, you weigh more than me because you are taller.
So, okay, so first thing is, you talked about bone mass. So you are saying the bone mass is directly proportional to one's height. So the taller you are, the higher the weight of your bone mass.
Yes.
Okay. So now, no wonder this thing can be misleading, because somebody might see a person that's not on the tall side and think that the person has more mass, more weight, because actually, like you said, I've seen people that when you look at them, they're a little bit more rounder than I am, but I'm way taller than them. And when we weigh, they're like, how come you weigh more than me? So in that kind of situation, it was with this knowledge, you now realize that the weight is majorly about the bone mass.
The bone mass and also your fat, of course.
Okay. Okay. So anybody less than 18 BMI, it's
underweight. Anybody above 25 is overweight.
Okay. So now when we consider these classifications, this category BMI between 18 to 25, then it begs the question, does one's weight affect their health?
Yes, your weight actually affects your health, obviously. When you are underweight, you are not healthy. When you are overweight, you are not also healthy, because that doesn't mean that when you are in the normal weight, you are healthy.
Okay, I know that.
Yes, that doesn't mean you are healthy because you're on the normal weight. But being overweight or being underweight puts you at more health risk than somebody that is already on the normal weight. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? When you're obese, you know that, or you're overweight, you know that you're knocking the door of metabolic diseases. You're knocking the door of non-communicable diseases. When you're underweight, you are knocking the door of low immunity. You're knocking the door of frequently falling ill, knocking the door of malnutrition. So,
wow, this is I don't know whether to say this is scary.
I'm not trying to actually scare people watching and all of that. It's just that your weight actually determines your it's also like, let me say, it's going to determine how healthy you are. Let me just use the word. It's going to determine how healthy you are, whether you are prone to be sick, whether you are going to be healthy, whether you are fine. Your weight is also part of it.
Okay, yeah. So the more appropriate term is very insightful, and saying knowledge is power. So I liked the context you added there, that even somebody that it's within the normal weight can also be unhealthy.
Yes.
Now, while talking about if person's weight affects their health and all of that, we bordered into some of the risks of poor weight management. Yes. So can you shed more light on that? Some of the risks, whether because being overweight apparently also is poor weight management, and being underweight fall into the same category. So can you tell us some of the disadvantages, the health risks?
If a person is not working specifically on their weight, if you're not making sure that your weight is okay, whether you are being underweight, okay, let's start from this other end of the pillar. You can have low immunity. And when the person has low immunity, it means that the person's risk of falling frequently ill is there. infection can easily set in.
No.
A person can be infected. You can, when there is infection, when your immunity is low and there is infection, your body cannot, there are no enough antibodies to fight against it. Malnutrition will automatically set in when you are underweight. Especially for children, there will be wasting, severe muscle wasting, even adults. So
what does that mean?
Wasting, when we say when the wasting is when there is low weight for height. Your height is not okay. Or let me just say the height is not okay, the weight is not okay. Everything is below the normal curve or the normal thing is supposed to be. And because the person is not feeding well, the person is not eating well, this thing can make them prone to a lot of things. Now let's move to the other side of the pillar. Metabolic diseases. When a person is being overweight, when a person is overweight, their metabolic diseases can happen. Digestion problems can begin to happen. If you're not watching your weight, you are on the big side, you're not watching your weight, you can begin to have digestion problems. It can lead to metabolic diseases like diabetes, impaired insulin function. When your insulin is not functioning properly to absorb the sugar, the person can have hypertension. Blood pressure is just raising because the person's weight is too. Cancer can set in because being overweight is also a risk factor to cancers, breast cancers, colon, any kind of cancer basically. Being overweight, sedentary can put you at risk of that. Depression, which also falls on both sides, because when the person is underweight, their weight is not okay, they are not doing well, they are sick, the person can become easily depressed. You can become very easily depressed, and you just not know what to do. Like I used to say in the hospital, I used to tell people that sometimes the problem of depression has to do with more of food than mental, has to do with more of nutritional deficiencies than the situation that is causing the person to be depressed.
Really?
Yes.
From experience?
Yes.
So if I eat well, the chance of me getting depressed is reduced.
If you eat well, the chance of you becoming depressed is reduced. I know that sounds strange, because the reason is that the problem this person is going through that makes this person depressed, suicidal, withdrawn. If you look at it, you're not the only one going through that.
Right.
Now, when you are deficient of some nutrients, especially like omega-3, vitamin D, iron, calcium, when you are deficient of these nutrients, you tend to, the problem tends to become bigger because you cannot see the bigger picture. You just continue to see that.
So this omega-3 and some of the things you listed now, should I say positive hormones or nutrients that makes you optimistic about life or what, or happy hormones or what?
They are not happy hormones. I don't want to say they are not happy nutrients or something. I just feel like when you have these nutrients, the chances of you brooding over those situations is reduced. The chances of thinking positively is increased. Let me use that word. I don't want to get people confused while trying to explain it, but then depression is also linked to micronutrient deficiencies.
Sorry.
So that is the word. That is the explanation. So depression can actually set in if you are not, because I remember when I started working here in Asaba, I had this girl, she came to my office, and when she was explaining a lot of things to me, it was more of depression because of her weight. I said, I've tried a lot of things, and she was crying, and she was going on and about, and I was like, please don't cry. And I realized that she has moved from the problem to depression. Now, the problem is no longer obesity. The problem is now depression. So we have to first take out depression. Then as we're taking out depression, we have to also talk about how to manage the weight and how to let her understand that being big is not the end of everything. This is, you have do this, see the doctor. If there is more problem, if there is this, because I also need you to know that being overweight or obese has nothing to do with food. does not always have something to do with food. Does not always have to mean that the person eats a lot. It could just be hormonal problems. So if you can focus on the hormonal problem, focus on taking care of that, I think before depression now starts setting in. And when you are depressed, you won't even eat well. That means your food will be lacking essential nutrients. So there's no depression will not set in.
Well, it's been a very interesting and unraveling conversation with the dietitian herself, Esirodene Enejadu, here on AETV Live. She has explained to us what weight management is, the normal body weight, which is relative, and how one's weight can affect their health, and also giving us some health risks of poor weight management. You get more details on this topic, weight management, in the next episode.